All right, so we are going to change gears a bit now, and we're talking a little baseball. Something we always like doing a little bit on this on our pod and our YouTube content. And what better way to get into it with our local team here? Well, if we live in Buffalo, I guess. But we're gonna have a little Jays talk, and Robbie's got the hat on, so he's going to be inspired here. But listen, we're starting to come on a bit here. I believe there are 5 games over 500 as we're recording this YouTube hit, and probably the best hitting lineup in the league. Obviously, the arms with the injuries to the bullpen and the starting rotation haven't caught up to the bats, but they're doing what they can to add some arms into this bullpen after making a deal or so on the last day. So as where they are now, Robbie, I guess to your opinion, are they exactly where you thought they were going to be? Are they better? Are they worse? And kind of what was wrong with them to this point? Kind of give your analysis.
Yeah, I've had people coming up to me. I've been actually holding on to this for a while because people ask me, like, what's wrong with the Jays? What's wrong with the Jays? And here's my answer. Absolutely nothing. This is exactly what the Toronto Blue Jays are. They are a team that everybody's going to say, hey, the bullpen needs all the blame. And I'm going, okay, the bullpen's been relatively ineffective, I would say. But for the most part, this is what the Blue Jays are. They're a young team that has some of the best bats in the league. I mean, offensively, as one of the most gifted teams. The starting pitching is a question mark, but they've been really good. I am loving Alec Manoah. I think he is a gamer. I love the battle. Everybody's talking about the bullpen though, and I'm like, the bullpen's kind of what I expected. Like a bunch of these guys had good seasons last year. We watched Rafael Dolis put up like a 1.5 ERA last year. Now it's up in the fours. It's just what happens with bullpens sometimes is that they go a little suspect. I didn't pick this team to make the playoffs for the simple reason of I don't think their defense is good enough. And people are going to say, well, it's baseball. You don't have to have good defense. You can have just good hitters and they don't have to be good defensively. And I would say to you, yeah, if there's maybe one, like if one of your 9 players is bad defensively, but he's a great hitter, don't got to worry about that. But when 4 or 5 of the 9 are bad defensive players, imagine having a company and you have 9 people and 4 or 5 people are bad at the same thing. That company isn't going to be successful. I'm just sitting there watching their outfield. I'm watching Lourdes Gurriel. I'm watching Teoscar Hernandez, and I'm like, those two can't be in the same outfield together. I think the biggest key for this team is George Springer. And not even because of his bat, because he gets to now play center. He shifts Grichuk to one of the corners, I believe, right, and then the left is one of the two. I can deal with one of the 3 outfielders being a very bad defender. I can't deal with 2 of the 3. They were making a mess out there. And sometimes there are times where it's not even classified as an error. It's just they took a bad route to the ball. They didn't track the ball. So I'm just looking at this team. I'm worried about shortstop. I'm worried about the defense. I'm blanking on the name. Shortstop. Give me the name.
Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette. There we go.
And you're the Jays guy? Jesus.
I know. I'm worried about his defense. I was worried about that, but at the end of the day, Guerrero's turned into what I expected. He is the best hitter in baseball. He is deadly. But this is what the Blue Jays are. They're not. If anybody who expects them to be a 100-win team, this is not what they are. They're going to battle for a playoff spot. They might squeak in, but I see this team as like an 83, 84 win team because I just don't think that the pitching is good enough. And a team with an embarrassment of riches. I mean, an embarrassment. People have already forgot that they have Austin Martin, one of the best hitting prospects in baseball, sitting in their prospect pool. They have the third baseman that I'm forgetting his name. That you guys make fun of me that I was pumping his tires. Groshans. There we go. You're carrying the segment. You have all these good bats coming. I'm sitting there going, I might look into trading a Teoscar or a Lourdes Gurriel. I think that's going to make this team a little bit better. But right now, this is exactly what they are. And don't expect anything different. Don't expect this team to pull out 90 to 95 wins.
I'm I don't know. I think if you put a poll up and ask people if they thought, where the Jays would be, like expect them to contend or expect them to not make the playoffs because they're still a young team, I really think it'd be split 50-50. I just think, the one on one side will say, well, their hitting can get them to the playoff spot. And I think the other 50 would say their pitching would not get them to a playoff spot. So I think it's at the point where it's not kind of coming together. But I think, you're right. Look at the prospect pool. I remember somebody saying, I can't remember who it was, but when you're a good organization, prospects are used to find the right player to contend, not bring them up through your system. You know what I mean? Because you're not really going to win like that. Maybe Tampa is the one exception because they just keep finding guys and bringing guys through the pipeline. But I'm not saying you're going to go out and trade Austin Martin. But if you know that Bichette's going to be your shortstop of the future, and I think they signed another guy, 16 years old, out of Cuba. The name escapes me. I think he may have been a son. I think it was in Mondesi, maybe. But anyways, you got a pipeline of these guys. Maybe that guy like Austin Martin gets you a number 2 starter or gets you something, a couple pieces in the bullpen. At some point, they're going to have to make that determination, right? Same thing with Groshans. Guerrero looks like he's going to be the guy at first base for the next X amount of years. What can that guy play third? What do you do with Kevin Biggio? Kevin Biggio, like, people got to stop thinking like he's 20 years old. The guy's 24. This is what you get. I don't think he should be ever in that same conversation again with Bichette and Guerrero. Is that a guy you move? Gurriel came in as a third baseman. Now he's a left fielder. Maybe he's the guy. Like, there's so many options, but I think that's what they are. They're still in that option phase. Simeon ain't coming back. That guy's going to hit free agency money next year. So now you got a hole at second base. So I think they're on the right. Like, again, I'm trying to make the Leaf comparison, Rob, but the Jays made the playoffs last year because they added an extra playoff spot. If they so happen to make the playoffs this year, is it be like that Leafs Washington thing where they like expedited our that when the Leafs made the playoffs at the last game of the season, nobody expected them to make the playoffs, but they had a chance. Like, they were in there, and like all of a sudden our expectations just went through the roof. Do I see that trending down that same road here? You know what I mean? Like, what happens if they make the playoffs? Because you're seeing that this management is like, they spent the money on Springer. You don't spend the money on Springer and then just stop. You know what I mean? Like, that's a 7-year deal. You must think your window's at least 7 years. At least maybe 5 of the 7.
5 for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a 5-year window, and not just because of him. It's because of Vladdy and Bo. Like, these guys are tied up for another 5 years.
Yep.
I know a lot of people predicted that the Jays would make the playoffs, but they would be, in my opinion, mistaken. And like I said, this team is 85 wins in that kind of area. Maybe the division is a little bit down. This is one of the first years that it's a little bit down. But in terms of going out and getting guys, I don't know if I would trade one of these top prospects, because I think some of these top prospects are really good. And to speak of the embarrassment of riches, I think the Blue Jays still have 4 guys in the top 100 in terms of baseball. Baseball America's top 100. They are loaded. And forget that, they have 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds from Dominican that are trending in the right direction. They have a Brazilian pitcher, Eric Paradino, that's trending in the right direction, that just had Tommy John. This team is loaded. So I'm sitting here going, why not look at moving a Teoscar, bringing in something? The guy is on fire, but he is older. I think he's in his late 20s. I'm not quite sure with his age, but I'm sitting there going, you might want to kind of improve this defense. Like you said, you only have Simeon for 1 year. So this team with Simeon is very deep offensively. They've got to get better defensively. Start moving out some guys, but it's now. Now is the time to tinker. And the problem with fixing the bullpen is very hard, because year to year, these guys, with the exception of the elite guys, they're up and down. Again, I state Dolis last year, an ERA of 1.50. This year, he's north of 4. So everybody that's saying just get bullpen help, I think there's more to it than just that.
So I got to ask you one question, one last question about one guy specific. What do you do with Nate Pearson?
You just got to wait. You wait to see how it is. I think you struck gold with Alek Manoah. I think this guy is...
Was it too early for him though, Rob? I know they were kind of forced into that, but like this is like them saying, you know what, I don't care about the service time. Let's just get him up here.
Yeah, I think they saw the 100. Everybody got a little excited. Listen, we don't know. Pitching's a little bit like quarterback. We don't really know. Just because you throw 100 doesn't mean you got to be able to locate. You got to be able to have some movement. It's a great question. It's something that I would probably ask Pat Tabler or
Yeah,
who the
let me
other
give him a call. Hold on a second.
right. It's something that I wouldn't be able. Who's the commentator? I love Dan Schulman. That's
Dan
somebody that
Shulman.
I'd love to hear his opinion on that. But I can't speak to Nate Pearson. I just think you have Ryu, you have Alec Manoa now. It looks like, and you've got a lot of guys like Robbie Ray's had a good year. A few of the other pitchers have had pretty good years. This it's funny. I thought about it. It's kind of like an amateur golfer where once you fix the driver, the irons go, and once you fix the irons, the driver goes. That's how it seems like with this team. When the starting pitching is good, the bullpen is bad. When the bullpen is good, the starting rotation is bad. It struggled. It's like they can't get both together at the same time. It's unbelievable. But I don't know what you do with Nate Pearson. I don't know. I can't see him, but the guy's got electric stuff. You got to hold on to him and just hope, almost like a Roy Halladay, where it takes a few years for him to kind of just click.
Do you want me to message Dan Schulman? Because I can.
There you go. Give it to Danny.
Actually, I taught Dan's son Ben when I was an instructor how to skate, how to play hockey and stuff. So
There we go.
man, is he a big boy now?
Get
It's been
get
a
Danny
while.
on the show whenever he wants. He's
Oh,
honestly
buddy,
he's
he is in the same class as a Matt Devlin. I had the pleasure of coaching Matt's son Luke for 3 years. They're exactly how they are on TV. Gentlemen,
oh
they sound like they're calling like a game when you talk to them.
yeah.
It's like
I
it's awesome.
he is
But
one of my favorites.
class act.
Dan Schulman, and he was great on he was up there with I can't remember the other Sunday night baseball crew. I think it was Joe Morgan and
Yep.
I can't remember who the other guy was, but they were great. So he's up there. He's
Oh, I
fantastic. But
remember.
you'd have to ask him about Nate Pearson. But listen, just for all the Jays fans, just relax. Again, I know we all want to get excited and go crazy. This is what this team is, though. And even if they make the playoffs, I don't know if they're going to have enough to. I don't know if they're good enough defensively to kind of put it together. So just enjoy the season. Enjoy that you have maybe. I mean, I know Jose Batista was at one point maybe the best hitter in baseball. I don't even know if he was the best hitter. I know he's the best home run hitter. Right now, you have the best pure hitter in baseball.
and
Average
he's
home
and he
runs.
can't he's a can't miss. Like he's one of those things where you like if you're in the kitchen and you're chopping some vegetables for you put the knife down, you go to the TV because Vladdy's up,
Yeah,
and you enjoy that because like that's something where we haven't had in a long time, and it's something that is just incredible to watch because like
I
he's gonna hit the ball out.
I remember. I mean, I'm sure whoever argued against this was felt pretty silly, but I remember we had a who's going to be better, Vladdy or Bo, and I was like, I don't know if I would sleep on Vladdy. Just wait till you see what he can do, and he's showing us the talent.
I might have been the guy that said Biggio was a dark horse, but
Yeah, yeah. No, he's
gotta admit
not.
when you're
But
wrong. Anyways,
that's all right.
Jays fans, I hope you like the content. We want to know from you: are the Jays trending in the right direction? Are they exactly where you thought they were? Do they need to go out and maybe go for it this year? We want to hear what you have to say. Give us your takes. Hit the like, hit subscribe, comment on our and on our YouTube content, and hey, we'll even talk about it on our show. So watch out for some more Jays talking more, and appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Love it. Thanks, boys.